in their drops because they were uncontested. However, that is not the case over here at Gauntlet. Plenty of action at Octane's playground.
Yes, there is indeed. And Alistar, one of those teams who didn't have the greatest performance yesterday, looking to put that right, and a lot of congestion going down, as you say, at the Gauntlet here. Another player going to be peeking around the corner, and it's going to be HRO who are causing all sorts of problems, and the problems seem to be falling more on their shoulders than anyone else's.
I was saying about how you want to get away if you're a Pathfinder, if you're a Wraith, but when you're the Watson and you're left as the final solo, it's so difficult to try and escape because you don't have the way to maneuver around the map as the other two legends. But it seems like the Watson has just been able to escape and survive. If he can heal up, then there's always that possibility of getting to the late game, but going to be very tough as a Watson.
And what better way to establish dominance on the Gauntlet is, of course, win that battle, push that Watson outside, and take a couple of those little jump pads across the map. Coming past you and running, fair play to you.
And you might be watching him saying, well, why is he not instantly gone for that respawn? Well, he's just having a little scout around to ensure no one's waiting just to pounce on those respawners. But of course, when that dropship does come in and implement those players back into the game, of course, that is going to be warning signs for everyone around. You will hear that dropship, you will see it as well, and they are going to have targets on their back.
He didn't even touch the ground!
He's ripped out of the air.
He did not touch the ground, and Chaos inboxes as well. I think he's holding on for dear life as well. So for all of the great work there that Joey Blackout did for Chaos and getting those two banners, managing to sneak his way back to that respawn beacon, it just looked like there was another team there who was just one step ahead at the precise moment to pick up those kills.
Can I say, I must appreciate, and I have to appreciate, the in-game communication that you have in Apex. I know that, of course, they're on, like, whatever voice communication they want to be, and they're going to be able to communicate via voice as well, but the fact you can still ping things and give visual cues to your teammates is both excellent in competitive play, and also for me at home when I don't want to put my headset on and I don't want to talk to people.
So then BDS set up here. There's a couple of buildings just outside of the crossroads area of the map. A good position to be in, as you can see, just holding down this choke point, calling out that there is a team down here, and what a shot that is. Absolutely smashing the shields off of that player. The Wingman, still so devastating from distance. Of course, this isn't day one Wingman. However, you can see how much work it still does. And Joey Blackout here, I'm going to need to give a shout out to you. You are doing all sorts of work for your team at the moment. This has not been an easy game for the Chaos boys to be involved with.
So many players in this situation as well would just be running head down
for them. And you can see the rotations that CLG are making through the likes of Skulltown. That's going to favour them, especially yesterday when they had that game where they were a little bit worried about being knocked down to loose bracket a little bit earlier. They won those important battles around Skulltown, so they're going to feel comfortable in those surroundings.
This was the problem with Joey actually standing out and being brave, though, is suddenly everyone's turning on him and they're seeing a vulnerable little Wraith just running through Kings Canyon. And yes, okay, a valiant effort, but unfortunately, it's for 0 points as they finish in 17th.
Yeah, I feel for him there. That was a tough pill to swallow, a bitter pill to swallow, I should say, after doing so much work. I'd be looking either side if he sat in the middle and I was looking either side and going, come on, man, like, give me a little bit of support here. You know, it's one of those,
at least those situations.
Yeah, exactly. He did everything for his teammates, but that was Team Kurt just momentarily there, and now we're going to check in with Team Fire, Longbow in hand R99 as well to complement that if anyone decides to get aggressive here and push in. And they are going to have to make some moves towards that next circle in around 40 seconds time, as are Team Kurt here. So Team Kurt, I think Kurt was actually knocked down at one point during this game, so they've managed to get him back into the game to get up to a full three-person trio. We'll have to see what they can do now that they've managed to get themselves back into the game.
And it was Team Kurt and Team Fire who both came very close to staying in the winners bracket, actually. They finished in 11th and 12th, both on 14 points, but just not able to scrape through. It does seem like 14, 15 is really that 10th place threshold in a lot of these lobbies, but you just can't rely on it. You always have to push for that extra kill because you never know. It could just be that 1 point that makes a difference.
Yeah, Gen G yesterday, they had a few, I would say, big opportunities to place well and pick up, you know, significant points in some of the games that they were involved in. Just those little moments, those clutch factor, maybe they were missing at certain times. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well and see if they can find that little bit of magic, that little bit of spice in those pressurized situations to convert into points here. But 16 squads left at the moment as we are seeing round 3 and that ring closing in around 20 seconds.
Not quite going to be the Eastern ring that we saw going towards River's End in losers bracket round 1 twice. Instead, it is heading a little bit towards Market, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have 2, maybe 3 teams already set up shop, quite literally, in the Market, but it depends what stall you want. Do you want an aggressive one, or do you want a passive one?
Choke going to be picked up here by Madness as well. And we've seen the range that can add to that Peacekeeper, just making those projectiles nice and tight, being able to hit those distant shots. And inside market now, as you say, Dan, I think we're going to have 3, 4 at some points bird impact. You can see a team trying desperately to rotate in on them. They're trying to gatekeep this part, and Gen G are just above them at the moment, raining down shots. Dummy's going to take down, snipe down, and Reciprocity have had a real struggle so far in this tournament, nailing these rotations. They always seem to be running into teams with these choke points.
And several times we have seen Snipedown being that first player to be knocked as well. I know naturally he is one of the most aggressive players around, if not just in this team, so it's not of a massive surprise. He is usually going to be making that initiation and trying to make that push, but it just seems like either Rex and Grego, they're not getting there quick enough, or Snipedown's just getting caught out a little bit on his own.
If we could just very quickly pop back over to Reciprocity while we have a quick view in on Triumph Gaming. I just wanted to check the composition and who was running what particular legend there for Reciprocity, just to see. I was wondering if Snipedown was running that raid still, or if he'd actually swapped over to the Watson. We'll have to have a check on that maybe a little bit closer in the game. But now inside market, we are seeing the battle go down. The wingman shots are landing, and they're landing hard here onto Team Fire, and this is looking like a difficult situation to be in. And speaking of Team Fire, there's some flames in front of them right now.
Yeah, they've got that digital threat though. That's really going to help them in this battle, and Burt with the longbow is just trying to support his teammates, but they're just being pegged back at the moment, and we are going to see utility used. Arc Stars and grenades are going to get involved.
And now you're going to see Segobert, another team trying to push in on them as well, and Roe is going to be dropped. Does have that self-revive shield though to potentially get back into the battle, but it's actually Team Fire here who, for me, looked like they had the disadvantageous positioning in that particular fight, have found their way out, and not only that, they've managed to take some kills with them.
Yeah, I think Roe thought he might get away with actually reviving himself there. He thought he'd been a little bit sneaky, hadn't shown that gold shield enough, but he gets caught out as finally Team Secret are being put under pressure on top of market. They've been holding this for quite some time, and you can see that circle has now moved slightly towards the southwest. It's going to be in that one particular compound just to the left of the screen of Aladdin at the moment, so they are going to have to move off of market, but they've got 1 minute and 10 before they want to make that decision.
Yeah, there's a couple of teams who are set up in those buildings as well, so that's an almost guaranteed, you know, top 7, top 5 placement. They don't need to peek, they don't need to get too hungry for kills and extra elimination points, because they're going to pretty much guarantee themselves some points unless they get pinged by the wingman and get dropped in a bit of an overzealous situation, maybe getting a little bit thirsty for those kills.
I think what Team Secret have done well throughout, certainly the lower bracket anyway, in the games that we saw recently, maybe not yesterday when they were still trying to gel as a team, is their rotations have been good and their positioning has been phenomenal. They haven't really picked up as many kills as they would have liked, but I think we can expect that when it's not a well-practiced 3. I think that most kills they've actually achieved was 5, and that was in that lower bracket round 1. But they were able to get a couple of top 3 placements, and I think if you can achieve at least 2 top 3 placements, you can set yourself in a really good position of getting out of whatever group you might be in.
Just need to point out there, initially in this game we had a little bit of action early on. We were talking about how we hadn't seen, you know, 2 or 3 teams drop that early in that first circle, but now we're on round 5 and we have 15 squads remaining. This is going to get very, very tasty very, very quickly, Dan.
I think when you start to get a lot of the better teams who know how to rotate, who know how to avoid those shots and those sight lines, you are going to have more teams in these smaller circles. Rings closing now, so you got to push, you got to make your decision right about now.
Not for the first time. Samsung Morning Stars here have fantastic positioning as far as that circle is concerned. CLG now desperately trying to push in. Nicewig is going to be the last player alive for them. The other 2 players have been dropped. He's going to perform some miracles here of CLG. Want to place well. 14 squads remaining. Look at that kill feed. Now it's lighting up like fireworks night.
Really nice positioning from CLG, as that's going to be on fire out of the competition if they notice the knockdown shield on Urban, and yes, there you go. They're out of the lobby. Samsung still watch on from one of these little buildings, and they can just do whatever they like at this point. They just grief everyone and anything that they see out of these windows.
Yeah, Samsung in a phenomenal position here. You can see Urban on fire, maybe just hoping and praying that he can get a couple of extra placement points. Finally does get taken down as third impact, excuse me, just on the outside on the low ground now, and be interested to see if they can kind of get away with some positioning here, because you can hear the fire that's going off. If a couple of teams get taken down, they're just going to shoot up those leaderboards.
Well, they do have the zip line, and they can shoot up that as well to actually get into a position. As I say that, actually Feldon is taken out, so no zip line available, and now Triumph here. They're in the commanding point. They have a little bit of high ground. They also have cover, but I think it's going to be Samsung who are going to be one of their biggest competitions. The Morning Stars are actually opting to move out early. They want to get aggressive. They want to get some kills. They're quick to back off.
Still 7 squads remaining though. Call up one of those teams. You see Lager there taking down Forsaken in the feed, and the ultimate high ground in this particular circumstance seems to be in the hands of these 3 players. We're going to watch Vanillus now from Triumph Gaming as he's looking for a quick shield swap potentially here. A little bit of loot, add that barrel stabilizer onto that longbow, make those close range, those mid-range shots a little bit easier, a little bit less recoil onto that weapon. As we see BDS now down low, trying to rain in some R99 shots and back those players up.
Triumph are all on white armor. They hadn't been able to loot up, but because they positioned themselves so well, they can take advantage of a lot of those death boxes around them as the zip line is put up now and the ring is going to be closing in just a couple of seconds. You got to move.
Here we go. They drop in. This is where the battles are going to be going down. BDS get a couple of downs, but I'm not sure that anyone is going to be picking up kills in this position. 5 squads left to go here. Cooler taking down Nicewing in the feet. CLG now out of contention.
Triumph though, look how much height they have, and they can try and shoot through these little grates. It's not working out at the moment, but the most important thing is they can't be shot by anyone else because they're all down low, they're all hiding from each other. So Triumph just need to be patient, wait for the battle to unfold, wait for a couple of shots and grenades to come out, and then they can just spray down and rain down hell on everyone else in this lobby.
Halcyon Gaming still with a full complement of players here, decent shielding as well. Triumph Gaming just trying to locate these last 5 squads who are just lurking about in this final couple of circles here. 1 minute 20 until we move again. I'm not sure we're going to see too many engagements as we now hop over to Samsung Morning Stars. Everyone seems to have some sort of comfortable position, even in a circle this small.
And of course, the advantage is going to go to those who do have Wraith still as one of their surviving players, so they can use that ultimate, so they can use that portal and the Q to survive during the red.
And the worrying thing here for Samsung Morning Stars is they've had this great position. They've had control of that building in the compound for so long. However, look at where the circle is moving now. They are going to have to move out of this, give away their position and expose themselves for essentially the first time in this game, and they're looking to utilize the zip line here to try and escape.
I mean, everyone is going to have to move from where they are, and everyone is just going to have to dive into open space at this point. You can see him just going through his utility, going through his grenades. He's got arc stars. He's got the ability to just destroy anyone that does drop. So you have to have patience. You have to have the ability to just take a small chunk of damage from the red. Remember, it ticks for 25 at this situation, so you can only be ticked 4 times in the red before you die.
Vanillus now taken down to pretty much no health. He's going to have the time to back up though and reshield and live to fight another day in this battle. Here comes the push from all of these teams. Grenades go in, arc stars go in, trying to clear those players off that platform, before making their move, and it's going to be Halcyon Gaming who are guarding these portals and picking up some kills on Samsungs as they do make that move. Peacekeeper now in hand, and that's a great play here from Halcyon Gaming. They have shut down that push.
Massive fences from Watson as well. It's so difficult to get into this circle when those fences are in the way, and the Peacekeeper's doing so much.
Oh, the Peacekeeper lands the second! Make it 3 here, Rain! He's making it rain inside this circle.
He's doing so well, and he's got a wingman to boot, and he just needs to wait for the remaining player. He's looking for him. Who's got the knockdown shield? Where are you? He just waits. He can finish this off. The game is in his hands. The self-revive might be there, but how long can he stay alive? This is the thing. He's going to dance through the portals, Mark.
He's going to dance through the portals. He's going to do a jig, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And what a play it was to close things out there. The Peacekeeper being the answer to the